In her heart there's a hole, there's a black mark on her soul. In her hands is my heart, and she won't let go till it's scarred. She got blood cold as ice and a heart made of stone, but she keeps me alive. She's the beast in my bones. She gets everything she wants when she gets me alone, like it's nothing. She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
I hope you guys enjoyed the little video edit in the beginning of the video that I put together. It's been a while since I made one of those, so please bear with me. I'm still trying to, learn some things and make these videos more entertaining for you guys to watch, so I can keep your attention and spread some knowledge and information, because my channel, like I said in my other videos, are information based. And today I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of people have been alluding to, and that's why why I chose to go reserves instead of active duty, as my puppy over here is being out of control. But yeah, a lot of people have been leaving comments, and I read every single comment, guys. I reply to them, and my most popular video right now is the day in the life of a Marine Reservist drill weekend video. So if you guys haven't seen that, go watch it if you're interested in knowing what drill weekend is like. Despite me stating numerous times that my channel and my videos are information based, right? It is my first and primary intent is to educate you guys and to just put out stuff that it's not readily available on other people's channels, and try to stay away from the politics and the drama and all that. But some people still choose to leave nasty comments. What does bother me though is knowing that there's so much ignorance out there. Ignorance by definition means the lack of knowledge, right? And when someone leaves a comment and it's just full of ignorance, it really does stir up some type of emotion in me, only because I'm doing this because I want to spread awareness. The best way I know how to do that is by my own examples, my own life and my own experience, and sharing that from a very objective lens and viewpoint. Obviously it's naturally subjective pertaining to me, but I try to stay away from anything that is, negatory. And before I share my own experience and my own reasons for why I chose the Marine Reserves as opposed to active duty, if you're one of those active duty guys who've been leaving me nasty comments, trying to make this about active duty versus reserves, grunt versus pogue, please refrain from leaving any derogatory, negative comments on my videos unless they're constructive. I'm all about constructive criticism. I reply to a lot of comments that are well articulated and make a good point. But when you guys leave, or when people leave like nasty, derogatory comments, it doesn't offend me. That's not the problem. It's the fact that as military personnel, right, we're supposed to be a part of this organization that is supposed to uphold a certain level of discipline and professionalism. And when you're leaving comments like that, I don't care how convicted you feel about your views and your emotions and whatever, your political views, you're supposed to go about it in a very tactful, professional manner. And that is the difference between us and civilians, right? Well, it's supposed to be. And I get that I title some of these videos in a very general manner like that, like active duty versus reserves, but that's besides the point, right? That video that I'm alluding to, the intent was to defend the popular views, some negative popular views that active duty members had pertaining to certain reservists. And it goes back to saying, like, you can't generalize a group of people, guys. Like, just because there's one or two shitbags in the reserves, I'm sure there are more than that, but one or two spoiled apples shouldn't ruin the whole bunch, right? So the saying goes. You hear about people on active duty committing heinous crimes, right? And when that happens, you guys aren't so proud of it, but but then it's a double fucking standard. It's a double standard. All right, dude. See you later. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about why I personally chose to join the Marine Reserves as opposed to active duty Marines. I briefly touched upon this topic in my other videos, and if you guys don't know me, my background is I joined when I was 19 after doing 2 years of college as a student athlete. In high school, I was in JROTC, which is Junior Reserves Officer Training Corps, and that was the Army version of it. So I was accustomed to military from a very young age. Despite me having a BMW and living in a nice apartment now, I really didn't come from much, guys. Like, I had a single parent growing up, had no money. I was always in financial struggle, for the lack of a better term, and a part of the reason why I joined the Marines was because of financial struggle and to, you know, set myself up for the future. And that leads to a lot of people asking, why didn't I just go active duty if I needed the money, if I needed a job, right? I wanted to pursue a career outside of the military while I served somehow, some way, in the smallest form, way, shape, or fashion. The best way for me to explain it is that I wanted to use the Marines, the Marine Reserve specifically, as an opportunity for future opportunities. Now, with that said, I always tell people, if you don't know what you want to do in life yet, and it's perfectly okay if you're even in your mid-30s to like late 30s, early 40s even, because I know people in their early 40s making career changes. It's perfectly okay if you don't know what you want to do in life. Some people, it takes longer to realize that. And I encourage people to join the military because it's a great opportunity to go active duty, right? And to kind of develop some skills, some experience, and at the same time serve your country. It's such a great opportunity for people who are trying to create opportunities for themselves. Another reason why I chose the reserves as opposed to going active duty is, a lot of you guys won't understand this, but it's because of my mom. A little backstory. So I was pretty much raised by a single parent, my mother. My dad left my life very early on in my life. It was just me and my mom. And my mom is a first-generation Korean American. She immigrated here with me when I was like 3 months old. And she has very little skills. In fact, she doesn't even speak very fluent English. She speaks a little bit, enough to get by, and she works as a cosmetologist, so she's, you know, can speak to her clients and have conversations, but her English isn't very great. So throughout the better half of my life, I've been helping her with a lot of, you know, her admin work. So for example, anytime she gets mail and it's official business, you know, I help translate for her, even still today. And I didn't feel comfortable just leaving my mom by herself because it's just me and her here. I mean, all of her family is still back in Korea, especially because of the relationship I had with my mom. She pretty much gave up everything to help raise me and support me. I remember she used to work 7 days a week, 12-hour days, just to support herself and I. And for other people who find themselves in a similar situation as me and my mother, maybe the answer for you or the solution for you is to go active duty, and that's the best way that you can, you know, help them. But for me, I knew that I could help her more effectively here, you know, better here by staying here and trying to find and pursue a career near home. And that is why I'm still in this area, which is DC, Maryland.
Real special tonight. Whoa, hey, mama, I wanna scream so loud for you, 'cause I'm so proud of you.
So on a side note, I'm a big proponent of not wasting anything, and since I pay so much for rent to live here, one of the menus that we have is a grill. So I try to grill every once in a while. Alright, so my final reason for joining the reserves as opposed to going active duty kind of piggybacks off my first reason. It's really to just get a broader perspective of the world, and that includes the military, because the military is deeply rooted in American history. As Americans, we are very proud of our military, and I wanted to serve in some way, shape, or form, like I said in my first point. If I did not have a plan, I would have just went active duty to get the full experience. I will say that now I work for the Department of the Navy under NAVFAC, and I pretty much provide logistical support for the Navy's expeditionary units. That's all I'm allowed to say for my job, but I will say that joining the reserves as a supply administration and operations clerk really did open my eyes on to see how the military functions, not just from a logistical perspective, but from, you know, a personal level and organizational level, and also from a cultural perspective. And I will say, joining the Marine Reserves did help me tremendously in gaining a larger perspective, broader perspective of the world. And I know a lot of active duty people are going to be like, well, you didn't really join the full military. Well, yeah, true, but I went through basic training, combat training, MOS training, and after report to drill at my reserves unit, and no matter how much you argue that that's nothing compared to active duty, that's still one more thing that I've done as opposed to a normal civilian who never gets to experience the military. And I never claimed to be, you know, active duty or grunt or whatever. I never claimed to be something that I'm not. That is why on my YouTube banner it says Marine Reservist. And I personally encourage people to try to understand people that are not like you, that don't come from the same background as you, because that's ultimately what makes this world go around. And the world's just a better place when we all understand each other, right? And that's on a personal level, guys. This video was naturally and fundamentally personal because it's me explaining why I chose to join the Marine Reserves as opposed to going to active duty. Hopefully you guys found that informational and entertaining, and also I hope you guys can relate. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay frosty.